Hello and welcome to the vlog. This weekend I am hosting the Pages Collective Readathon. That is a readathon where basically you're just trying to read more than you would have otherwise. I have collective page goals where every page you read goes towards that page goal, and it's just a really fun way to try to read more together. This weekend I am planning to vlog my 48-hour weekend readathon. I'm not expecting to read a whole lot of books. The reason I host this readathon is because I'm not really expecting to just read a whole bunch. I just want to read more than I would have otherwise, just like an incentive to read. This weekend I am reading Unsouled, the first book in the Cradle series. I've seen a lot of hype about this book. I feel like people are talking about it everywhere in the fantasy community. It is a self-published book, and fortunately my library actually purchased it, probably because it's a popular self-published book, but I know I've been in other places where libraries don't purchase self-published books at all, so I'm really happy that I get the chance to read this one. I'm pretty sure the premise is something like our main character is the only person in his village without magic, and it's kind of like a disgrace to him. I don't really know what the plot is, but I'm interested in finding out. I've heard it's a really exciting read. And the other book I am planning on reading this weekend is Under Copp's Hill. This is a middle grade book. It is a historical fiction mystery series. I used to read the American Girl books, and this one, it says history mystery on it. I'm pretty sure they renamed this series to be like Mysteries Through Time or something like that. But I used to read these whenever I was younger and I enjoyed them, but this was one that I never read, and I saw it at my library and was like, yeah, why not read it? It's 150 pages, so I'm thinking I should be able to finish this one this weekend. I'll have little clips sprinkled in here from our adventure last week. We went to Grand Teton last week and it was really fun, and I took videos while we were there, so I will have those sprinkled in. So that's not something I'm doing this weekend. I'm mostly sitting inside and reading this weekend, but you'll get to see the lovely nature throughout the vlog. I am about a third of the way into Under Copp's Hill now. I actually have no idea why that's the title. I'll be interested to see that as I continue reading. This book is definitely on the younger side of middle grade. Our protagonist reads very young. She is impulsive and doesn't want to listen and just wants to do her own thing. She doesn't really understand why adults are worried about things at all and just wants to basically have fun. I mean, I think it's understandable. She's 11, she's fairly young, but the book just reads like towards a really young middle grade audience. And on top of that, I think middle grade mysteries are a little hard to come off well to an adult reader because sometimes things just feel convenient, or like the mystery doesn't feel real and it just feels like things are happening in order to make it feel mysterious. So that's kind of where I am with this book. I think I would have enjoyed this more when I was younger. I did read several of these American Girl Mysteries series when I was younger and really enjoyed them, so I think this is just a case of it works best for the audience that it's intended for, and I'm just not that audience. I'm really happy that I'm doing reading sprints, and I scheduled them this morning in the Discord because that is really helping me focus on reading. It's almost like actually scheduling reading helps me read more. Who would have known? But I'm actually thinking maybe that's something I should do more often. I should set aside a time of day that is for reading, because that might help me actually read more. Anyway, I have decided to put Under Copp's Hill aside and start Unsouled, and it is every bit as exciting as everyone says it is. I started this during the last reading sprint that I had on my Discord, and I didn't want to stop whenever the 30 minutes was up. I was like, I just want to keep reading because it is really interesting. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like after every scene, like you still have questions of like, okay, but what about this? Or what about this other thing? Or what is that? And I'm just like really learning the world and I'm getting to know how everything works. And it's really exciting. I can definitely see myself finishing this book very quickly and hopefully reading a lot more of them. I know the last 2 books are not out, and right now I'm a little bit sad about that because maybe I'll just binge this series. I don't know. Anyway, just wanted to give you that update. I'm probably going to get dinner here and then read more this evening. I haven't decided if I'm exercising or not yet today, but I'm definitely going to be reading more of Unsouled this evening. Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Readathon. It is very rainy and overcast and gray, and I'm not a huge fan of rain because I don't always feel my best when it's raining. I definitely have a headache today, but it's a good day to do nothing besides reading. I have been doing some things around the house today, so I've not been reading Unsouled. I've been listening to the audiobook of the second Enola Holmes books. Remember how I said earlier in the vlog that sometimes books, particularly mystery books written for middle graders, don't always work for adults? I actually think the Enola Holmes books work very well for adults, or at least it's working well for me. I think the story is written very cleverly and it's really fun to see the historical time period and the things that Enola has to navigate. But I think maybe it's because the mystery almost takes a backseat in the Enola Holmes books. So Enola Holmes is the much younger sister to Mycroft and Sherlock Holmes. And in the second book, she's in London and she's trying to evade her brothers and she's putting on different costumes. She takes on different characters as she's navigating throughout London, and she's messaging in code to Chrysanthemum. If you have read the series, you know who Chrysanthemum is. And that's the part that I really enjoy about the series. I will say the second book, I thought the mystery, the case that Enola was solving, was a little weak. I think it was weaker than the mystery in book 1. I was not entirely satisfied with how the mystery was solved either, or like the why behind the mystery. But I do want to keep reading the series because honestly, the biggest draw for me is the Holmes family dynamics. And I think that's mostly front and center in the story, which is maybe why it works better as a children's mystery that I'm reading as an adult. Just some thoughts. Anyway, I didn't work out yesterday, so I'm gonna go do that today, and then I'm gonna come back and read Unsouled for the rest of the evening because that's what I wanna do. So I just came back from the gym and I was reading Unsouled on the treadmill because sometimes I find reading helps make the treadmill less miserable. I love this book. I really do. So our protagonist is like, I'm gonna say a sympathetic main character. He's an underdog and I like rooting for underdogs. And I'm just over here rooting for him so hard. So he doesn't have magic, even though everyone else in his clan does. And he has determined to find his own path, his own way. And he's in the library, he's trying to research things so maybe he can find a path that he can take. The magic's a little complicated, but like each person is separated into like the type of power that they're able to wield. And it mentioned that in the library there were these scrolls from other clans of different types of power that the Way clan, which is the one our protagonist is in, does not have the ability to wield. And I was just like, But what if our main character does? I don't know. I don't really know where this is going or if that information was important at all. I'm just cheering for Lyndon, that's our main character's name, so hard. I want him to succeed. I want him to feel like he's not a failure and useless. And yeah, that's where I am with this book. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to end the vlog here because I have a headache and I want to go to sleep. I will continue vlogging about Unsouled as I read through it. I want to continue capturing and sharing my thoughts as I read this book and possibly continue with the series. But as far as the readathon goes, this is the end of that. So I think it was a successful readathon. I definitely read more this weekend than I usually do, and I really enjoyed what I was reading, so I'm happy with the result. I haven't calculated my page total yet, but I will have that here on the screen. Whatever that total is, I'm still happy with what I read. I'll also have the page total on the screen for the total that all the participants read, the total pages that all the participants read. I'm always amazed at how much everyone reads, and I always find it so much fun reading with everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and happy reading.